السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد عليه الصلاة والسلام على آله وصحبه وسلم أجمعين. Ameen. Next we've got the splitting of the chest. Once Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was out grazing goats with his milk brothers when one of his milk brothers came dashing home. Shocked into terror, he told his parents, "Two white-clothed men led our Qurayshi brother onto the ground and slit open his chest. Now they are busy stitching him up." On hearing this, Halima radiallahu anha and her husband were left perplexed, in a state of total shock. Both of them darted across to the grazing field, where they saw the young boy standing on one side and his face looking pale. Halima radiallahu anha says, "I clutched him to my bosom to comfort him, and his foster father also held him onto his chest and asked him what happened. He then gave an account of what transpired. Halima radiallahu anha then returned home with him. The splitting open of his chest occurred 4 times in Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's life. The first time was when he was merely a boy of 4 in the care of Halima Sa'diyah radiallahu anha. He was on the grazing field when 2 angels, Jibreel alayhi salam and Mikael alayhi salam, appeared as men in white garments bearing a golden tray laden with ice. They cut open his chest and removed his heart. They then split open his heart and fished out a few pieces of congealed blood and said, "This is Shaitan's portion." They then washed his heart with ice water in the tray and returned it to its original location, after which they stitched him up. This event of the splitting of the chest left Halima radiallahu anha exceptionally alarmed. She was anxious over Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam well-being, for fear of him coming to any harm. She returned to Mecca and described to his mother what transpired. Upon hearing what happened to the child, Sayyidina Amina radiallahu anha was in no way left panic-stricken. She then recalled the divine barakat, blessings, nur and good she experienced during pregnancy right up to birth. She then affirmed, "This son of mine is destined to be a great person. Shaitan will be unable to approach him. Calm down. There's nothing to worry about. Nothing will harm him." Halima radiallahu anha then returned home, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam started living with his mother once again. When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was 6, his mother decided to journey to Medina. She took him along with her. Ayman radiallahu anha also accompanied them on this trip. She stayed at her ancestral home for a month, and on her return to Mecca, she passed away at a place called Abwa, and she was buried there as well. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. In the guardianship of Abdul Muttalib, Ayman radiallahu anha returned to Mecca with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam and consigned him to the care of Abdul Muttalib. Abdul Muttalib always kept Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam with him. Whenever Abdul Muttalib appeared in Masjidul Haram, a special mat would be placed in the shadow of the Baytullah for his exclusive use. Not a soul would dare to even place a foot on this mat. Even Abdul Muttalib's own children would sit on the fringes of this mat, but Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would seat himself comfortably right on the center of the mat. His uncles would try to steer him away from this seat, but Abdul Muttalib, with a reserved affection, would say, "Leave this son of mine alone. By Allah, This child is destined to an altogether unprecedented rank of eminence. He would then call him to sit nearby. Whenever Abdul Muttalib laid eyes upon Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was unable to contain his utter joy. The father of Kindir ibn Sa'id says, during the era of ignorance before the advent of Islam, I once came to Mecca to perform Hajj. I saw a person busy making tawaf of the Kaaba whilst uttering the following couplets. Ya Rab, raddahu wastani indi yadan. Radda ilayya rakibil Muhammada. O Allah, return Muhammad, my conveyance, to me. O Lord, return him to me and do me a great favor. I asked the people who this is, and they replied that this is Abdul Muttalib. He had just sent his grandson in search of some lost camels. Whenever he sends his grandson on an errand, the child returns successful. On this latest errand, the young boy was taking longer than usual. This is why Abdul Muttalib, frantically restless, was repeatedly reciting the above poem. A little while later, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam returned with the lost camels. The moment Abdul Muttalib